I think we look at this game, Kang, and we say this is a very winnable game for the Lions. I'm feeling pretty chesty about it. I think that they're not going to have any issues at all with the Raiders. I don't care who's playing quarterback. Their best quarterback would be Jimmy Garoppolo. But if he can't go, who's going to go? Hoyer or Aiden O'Connell? I don't care. I don't care if it's Jimmy G. It doesn't matter. They're not good enough to beat a team that's as good as the Lions, particularly when the Lions are playing at home. I'm very chesty about this. Very chesty indeed.
You got chesty last week, though. It was late last week.
I didn't get chesty. I thought they'd win by the end of the week. I started the week thinking they'd lose, and by Friday, I convinced myself. My heart got the better of me, and I thought that they would win. I wasn't chesty about it. Chesty is like you're like 95% sure they're going to win. I was chesty about their game in Tampa because I have no faith in Baker Mayfield. Just like I have no faith in Jimmy G or Brian Hoyer or in Aiden O'Connell. The Raiders are done.
See, I'm not going to get chesty. I expect the Lions to win, and they should win. But you got Devontae Adams, you got Josh Jacobs, you got Max Crosby. Those guys are playmakers. They're difference makers, okay? So if it's Aiden O'Connell or Brian Hoyer, whoever, sometimes you just got to get the ball to your playmakers, and they can take care of a lot of work for you. I don't think the Raiders are any good, Gator. I don't necessarily respect them, but I respect the NFL. And there's every any given Sunday. Well, this is any given Monday, right? And what happened last Monday, by the way? Not one person picked the Vikings to beat the Niners. Guess what happened? Captain Kirk showed up, okay? And even without Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison was there, and the Vikings took care of business at home. Now, I know the Raiders aren't at home, but it's the NFL, and I respect the NFL.
Well, maybe the Niners aren't all they're cracked up to be. They do have a good defense, but they miss some.
But they don't suck.
No, they don't suck. They don't suck at all. But think about it. The last 2 weeks, they've lost to Cleveland. And they lost to the Vikings.
Yeah, 2 upsets, and that's why I respect the NFL. And Nick Bosa said it best. The NFL can humble you quickly. You know? It's a weekly thing.
Without question. But the Raiders come into the game averaging 3 yards a carry. They've got 480 yards rushing in 7 games. That's not good. They've already thrown, as a team, they've thrown 12 interceptions in 7 games. This is not a good football team. This is a football team that has good players, a few good players, but they're not a good team. Devontae Adams, of course, he's great. Love him, right? Josh Jacobs is a very good running back, but he's having a horrible season. He's averaging less than 3 yards a carry right now. Max Crosby is a beast. 6.5 sacks. He has to be accounted for. Well, if he's going to line up on on our right tackle, I like that matchup, Penei Sewell and Max Crosby. I like the matchup against Taylor Decker, but I think Crosby is the better player, but you can get some help. I just really like their chances. Tyree Wilson this is another player to watch. He's the rookie defensive end that when we got towards the draft, Lions fans like, should we go for Tyree Wilson? Is Tyree Wilson the guy? Well, they passed on him as well, to go with what they did in the draft. I feel like this is one of those games that it's, no matter how you slice it, if you believe in up-down theory, then it goes for the Lions because the Lions lost. The any given Sunday is the only thing that keeps the Raiders afloat. And with the Lions coming off an embarrassing loss like they did, I just can't see it. I can't see that path victory.
This game is the true measuring stick of where the Lions are at as far as those stinkers are going to happen every now and then. And Coach Campbell said it best. He says, if we don't respond, that's the real shame.
That's the real shame, yeah.
That's the real shame. The Lions must respond. Like I said, I expect them to win, but we mentioned the stars. Now, Josh Jacobs has been a letdown this year, but Devontae Adams is an all-pro player.
He's a great player.
Max Crosby leads the league in pressures.
Great player.
It's not even close, I think, between number 1 and 2. He's a great player. Of course, it's a team game. Other guys have to show up. But it's the NFL, man, and I'm not chesty. That's all I'm saying. Wow. I'm just not chesty.
You're not chesty. You've been hurt.
No, I'm cautious, man. Let's show the opponent, or like I said, show the NFL some respect. Every week there's upsets, man.
I know.
The Bills lost to the Patriots. You thought the Patriots were tanking. They beat the Bills.
What's up with the Bills? What's up with the Bills?
What's up with the Patriots? They're terrible.
No, but what's up with the Bills, honestly? What's going on with that team?
It's the NFL.
Bills not that good?
Maybe.
Everybody's questioning themselves when you lose. It's like every team that you think is good and every team that is good so far this year, they've got a loss that you're like, did you just lose that game? Maybe the only team that can say we're good is Kansas City. Their loss was to the Lions opening night, and they can explain it away. They can say what they want about guys they didn't have on that Thursday night game to start the season because they did play without a couple of big ones, right? And that's their only loss. The other teams in the league, they've all got their embarrassing moments. Lions have lost 2 games. No shame in losing in overtime to a quality team in Seattle. It was a little embarrassing how they handled themselves Sunday in Baltimore. More than a little embarrassing when you get beat 38-6. But it's to Baltimore. At least Baltimore's a good team. But all these other teams have lost to teams that you're like, wow.
It happens,
that
man.
happened.
It happens, though, every year.
But it's happened more than once to these teams. Like, wow. You guys lost to who? By what? I don't care. I'm Chesty. Who's with me? 248-539-9797. I am Chesty about the Lions' chances of beating the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Agree or disagree?
There would be one reason why I would be Chesty if I were to be Chesty. You haven't mentioned it. It's their coach, man. Someone just texted us this, and I totally agree. The Raiders may have the worst coach in the league, and one
You
of
do
the
not
players.
like him at all.
I think he's a terrible head coach.
I think he's a terrible head coach, yes. Great offensive mind, terrible head coach.
Yeah, like he might be just, hey, stick to being an offensive coordinator. And it helps when Bill Belichick's calling the defense for you, too. But I feel like this is the last shot for Josh McDaniels, right? And he makes some, not just the coaching, like the in-game decisions that he makes sometimes. I don't think the players like him as well, as this texter pointed out.
I don't think they do.
So if I get Chesty, it's because I don't like McDaniels. I don't think maybe he's my McVay. I'm sorry. But at least McVay won a Super Bowl, Gator, as a head coach.
Yeah, whatever. No, he did. He did. Had a hell of a team. And they bought a lot of those players. They bought those players at the end to put them over the edge, and they did. They won it. I can't take it away from them. I wonder if I'm able to convince you by the end of the day Monday for you to be Chesty. We still got all weekend long for you to get Chesty. And the last week you weren't confident they'd beat Baltimore, and then by the end of it you were with me. I wasn't confident at the beginning of the week. I didn't think they'd win, but by the end of the week, rallied.